All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome again to the Berrien County Board of Commissioner meeting. It's a pleasure to have you here on this beautiful, almost spring-like day. Just a little bit of housekeeping reminder, silencing or turning off all electronic devices during the duration of our meeting is much appreciated. Any material that needs to come to the Board of Commissioners can do so through the Sergeant of Arms, which is Commissioner Kern. And then any of our public or anyone that wishes to address the board can go to the podium at the appropriate times to speak to us, stating your name, jurisdiction, and 2 minutes to address the board. With all of that housekeeping in place, we have the invocation being led by Commissioner Alex Ott, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which is being offered by our Commissioner John Hinkleman to some sort of serenade on his phone. Do you need some help on it?
Sure I do.
Okay.
I think there's a commercial that throws it out the window.
There is, yes. Let's go ahead. Yes, sir. Commissioner Ott?
Please bow your heads. Father in heaven, we ask for your wisdom as we begin this meeting. We acknowledge that we need your wisdom and insights, and we welcome your presence among us. Guide us in our decisions and discussions, helping us to seek what is best for all involved. We trust in your perfect wisdom and ask that you direct our meeting according to your will. As it says in James verse 5, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. We claim this promise and as we start this meeting and trust in your provisions. Thank you for being with us always. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both for leading us in those two items. Next on the agenda is roll call. Madam Clerk?
Bell,
Here.
Curran,
Here.
Freely,
Present.
Harrison, Hinkleman,
Here.
Ott, Pitchford,
Present.
Tyler, here, Volrath,
Here.
Werfel, Yarborough, Elliott. You have a.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Next item on the agenda are the approval of the minutes from the February 5th meeting. Everybody received those? Entertain a motion. Commissioner Volrath making the motion. Is there support? Support by Commissioner Ott. Is there any discussion, corrections? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. Communications, we had a few.
The Southwest Michigan Stop Hibernating Winter is better out here. Email received 2/4/26. Southwest Michigan Fall for Valentine's Day in Southwest Michigan. Email received 2/10/2026. St. Joseph County Resolution opposing data battery storage. Resolution email received 2/29 along with the email, or along with the resolution. And then a letter from supervisor from Hager Township that you all received individually, received today, 2/12.
Thank you. Everybody received those communications? All right. The next item on the agenda are public comments regarding the resolutions that will be considered for the consent calendar. I don't see a lot of public here. Chuck, no? Okay. I didn't have anybody from the commissioners request any of these to be pulled. So with that, I'll move on to the consent calendar and entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
So made.
Moved by Commissioner Pitchford, supported by Commissioner Kern. Is there any discussion on the said resolutions on the consent calendar? Hearing none, this is a roll call.
Bell, Curran,
Yes.
Freely,
Yes.
Hinkleman,
Yes.
Ott,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Volrath,
Yep.
Werfel,
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
All right, all of those items have been approved for action. We move on to committee reports, and first up is our chair of the admin committee.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
First in to see us this morning was the sheriff and the undersheriff, and Dave would like to report out on that.
Excellent.
We had Chuck and Greg in this morning. As always, medical services has been busy and doing a very good job. They've had over 400 assessments in the month previous to this. Had 8 inmates transported up to Jackson and served over 28,467 meals. The department work took 1,359 complaints for the month. That's 44 a day. And then Chuck wanted to make mention of the NARC squad enforcement team, who's a Southwest Michigan, and we're involved in a big part of that and the things that they do for us and taking drugs and guns off the streets. Huge. So we just wanted to thank them. They work hard. They're there all the time and keeping those things out of our hands. Also, there's a picture, we've got a report, on the last page, Robin Liddick, who's the director of animal care of Humane Society of Southwest Michigan. And she's provided handheld chip readers for animals to the officers so that when they're out doing their enforcement, they can read these dogs and know where they're going right away. So it's a big, anyway, that's our report from the sheriff.
Thank you, Dave. Next in to see us was the vice chair and the interim county administrator, who were very, very informative and helpful. I do remember that you were there today as opposed to last week.
Thank you.
We had a good discussion about the presentation at the committee of the whole about Gallagher and about the HR department. And we know it's in the capable hands of the interim county administrator and PHS. So we look forward to what your recommendation is going to be. We do have a couple of resolutions for you the next time we get together. Resolution ending in 134. This is from the road department. I think I reported out previously that MDOT is going to redo M139, and at Napier, Empire, and Britain going east-west right now for about the 300 to 500 feet, depending on the intersection, you have concrete going out from M139. They're going to reduce that back to asphalt. So when they redo M139, MDOT will take care of that in either direction, east-west, off of M139. Resolution ending in 148. This is required every year to report Act 51 road miles. The road department is reporting 484.88 primary county roads, 993.89 local county roads, for a total of 1,478.77 miles of roads. So you will see that. We have a property use request. It is a rather sizable event. So what we requested is that the sheriff get involved, that the city of St. Joe be informed as to what this event is, so that they are also prepared. Once everybody's been informed and we know that they are on board, then we will approve the request. At this time, we're just going to hold it for a week until that information is gathered. And that is our report.
Thank you for that report. Are there any questions for Edmund? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to finance.
Thank you
Madam Chair.
very much. Administrator Suppick made a report to us. He said that he hasn't seen this many dollar signs or whatever. And it's very interesting as he continues to learn more and more about what we do. Dan Fetty spoke to us, and it's about the Schwark Drain property. It had been put up, and we had accepted a purchase price of $305,000. And we want to let you know that next week we will have a resolution. There has been an addendum and some change that they'll report, and hopefully that'll have us almost to where we can transfer the property. We need to do that. And then with that, we'll also put with it a brownfield resolution that will help them to get things going. And you'll see that next week. Then we had waiver authorizations And they came from various departments. It was for a boom lift for building and grounds. We want to add on a training tractor web-based application to the sheriff's department. We want to pay the cost of outfitting for Western Star single axle trucks. That's from the road department. The North County Courthouse Clerk's Office furniture, again from building and grounds. And then the county administrator's search. We have a resolution, and we're going to pay up to $10,000 for the search, hoping that it will take 2 to maybe 4 months to complete. I'm just trying to see, it's the other business, BC Bit Vendor Services. Then we also had some bids. The bids were for the road department, and we made into one motion. And they're for Benton Township scratch and seal. Most of them are scratch and seal. There's one that's liquid calcium chloride through the road department. Reith Riley, 1, 2, 3, is a company that's going to do 3 of them. And the liquid calcium chloride will come from Great Lakes Chloride. So those were all, we concurred on all of those that it needs to happen. Let me see. We accepted our minutes. We had a good conversation with our finance director, Jake Lideker, and it was about fixing our door. The handicap opening needs some parts and things, and they're going to go ahead and get those and get it done. Trying to see what else. Our treasurer talked to us. John, what you want to tell about John Axe? From what we learned from her.
It was brought to our attention that John Axe, who has done so much for the county, has passed.
Needed.
And so we would like to, if we could, Finance Committee requested that perhaps an honorary resolution be put forward for John. He's done so much for us. So we thought it best that maybe we could get that put together and you know, he served the county for a good many years. I would be interested to know in the honorary resolution just how many years that was, but it was a lot. So we owe him a lot for a lot of things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Did I say we passed the minutes? And that's all. Do we have any more things to tell?
Real quickly, I think, Madam Chair, I think some of the waivers that you had that you listed were from last week. A couple of the waivers that we had this week were we had an overhead door that needed repair, was backed into. A couple of our buses for public transportation were trapped inside the building, so the door has to be replaced. And so that came to us as not a bid project, but as a more of a repair project. And the other thing that was added to it is that we had the Goodman furnace and condensing units in building number 2 for building and grounds. That has been worked on, and so we approved a waiver amount to actually replace that on building number 2. Questions? Good.
Thank you. That's it.
Are there any additional questions for finance? No.
Is this something that we just,
That's what John just reported.
Oh, good.
Out on. I handed it to you.
thank you.
If
Yeah,
couldn't find the document.
yeah, I didn't.
For those waivers, for those who are wondering what I handed.
Thank you. Thank
If
you.
there are no additional questions for finance, we'll move on to personnel and Vice Chair Werfel.
We started out welcoming Alex to our committee, which was fun. He really missed you guys in admin. We did do approval of the minutes. Then we had to approve some pension refunds and a couple of advanced step hires for a prevention specialist and one at Rhodes. And then we had Guy reported out to us on the health department. And he gave us a great update, a lot of good things going on over there, including they just had someone complete some emergency operations, train the trainer, FEMA type coursework. They've got a big promotion going underway in Q2 on vaping prevention, and they're getting a lot of statewide and nationwide coverage. He said it was even covered down in Louisiana or something about some of the things they're doing. It's really cool. They are progressing really well on the renovation down in South County. They're still on schedule for the July opening. So that's going really good. They've added some new audio and visual upgrades to the boardroom. And then the thing he seemed to be most proud of was the work and it's been really well received by everyone, is the RX Kids, which we approved this a couple of months ago. So I'll pass this around. It's just in Benton Harbor, Benton Township, Buchanan and Niles. And it's being received really well. It's just to help those young families that are in need with a little extra money to get by as they get started with new babies. And then we will have a resolution coming next week from Guy that is on the mobile unit. We approved one of these not too long ago that we didn't get the grant for, but this is another grant application to get a mobile unit to cover more of the county areas that they don't have buildings in. Then we talked to Gallagher. Mike was wonderful enough to stay by and give us more information. First, Jim had asked me a couple of questions and we all had a good discussion in there about it. But the first thing is we actually are not using Gallagher yet. It's still in the lawyer's hands. So Thaddeus is still working on it and we haven't actually started. So they don't have any of our data yet. We have not rolled anything down to them. He's hoping, I know the negotiations are coming close. He said that it's gone back and forth a few times. He's hoping that will all start by March 1st. And the likelihood of starting with the call center would likely be April 1st. Maybe sooner, but it will take time to roll everything up. He said it is about a 3-week ramp up once they have everything for the call center portion of it. So that answers a few of the questions as far as, what have they done so far? What have they found with our plans? All of those kinds of things. What we did ask him though was if he would report out once we do get started, if he would report out once a quarter to the PHS committee on progress. What are you seeing that our plan is different? What is, where we can make improvements? Where are those things? And he was very willing to do that. So he is going to plan to start doing those report outs once we get going. And we did ask him, we didn't know when all that would start, but to do it at least one before budget season starts. So before July. So the first report out to be before then. So he was totally willing to do that. It will be a separate resolution. We did approve it today to move forward next week to the full board. It will be a resolution that will list out just the call center. It will be in the $1.25 per person, but because again, data hasn't been shared, we don't want to commit to a specific dollar amount, but it will be right around that $1,000 a month. So we'll put in there the resolution, the 30-day cancellation, all of those kinds of things for that specific program. So that will be coming forward next week. Then we had our vice chair and our administrator in. We had a continued discussion on Gallagher. And I think that was about it. Did I miss anything,
No,
Alex
you
or
did
Joe?
not.
All right.
Much better than Bob. Good job.
Oh my goodness, Bob's probably watching.
Jerry, I got a
Yes,
question.
questions.
Going forward, the plan for replacing that position, where are we at on that?
So that was one of the things that was discussed in PHS. I think it was also something that was discussed in an admin. I'll leave it to you. I'll defer to you, Julie, if you have some comments on that, as you guys had been discussing it in PHS, and if I need to augment, I can.
Yeah, or if Mike wants to. It's probably, in reality, it's probably going to need to be replaced, but I think it's going to be a modified version. Because some of the function is going to be taken away. The call center is going to take all the calls. Some will still happen right here, right? So you're still going to need somebody to be able to do some of those kinds of things and work with them and coordinate. Okay, it's the end of the year. We're going to have open enrollment. We need to have employee meetings. And while Gallagher can have the meeting, somebody's got to coordinate it with the departments. So I think, and then maybe there's some new duties that person can handle, but that's all got to be reviewed and thought through. And the work with Gallagher on a call center can be a good stopgap of, let's see how that works. Let's see what it can cover until we figure out what is that role? What does that job position look like and move forward with it.
And Mike, do you have comments?
Just, that another major portion for that person is workman's comp, because Gallagher does not cover the workman's comp aspects.
At all.
It has to be entirely internal.
That was what I was gonna say.
Oh.
So, yeah. So does that answer some of your question, where things are at?
Yeah, I think it does. You know, my concerns are, that position properly filled, the value of a warm body in that position, actually answering the phone rather than Gallagher, and taking nothing away from Gallagher. We haven't even given them, their chance to succeed or fail. But there's value in having those questions answered here locally. And so I would like to, I guess, be kept abreast of it, because I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So I don't want that to happen.
And I think there was reference of stopgap. I think I made the reference of stopgap in admin, and it was also presented in the committee of the whole. Right now, we have a gaping need. And so we can, at any point in time, with 30 days notice, if we find that we fill that position and we don't actually need the call service any longer with Gallagher, we can off-ramp the same as we on-ramped if needed. But that's something that I believe.
that portion.
Yeah.
We're gonna have that separate.
Okay.
But those are some of the reasons why you've asked Gallagher as a committee to come back to report what are the values that are being gained by having the broker position with Gallagher? What are the deficiencies that we still need of having somebody in-house? And your point is well taken of, having someone here that knows the nuances of the county, knows the faces that they're working with on a day-to-day basis to be able to answer those questions from that side.
My goal is just to provide as much taxpayer value and employee value as I can
Mhm.
in this position. And it's not any more complicated than that. And so I want to make sure that that seems like that is still here. If phone calls come in and then are referred to, they're still, I'm not sure just exactly. I guess I'm anxious to see how it all unfolds, and your diagnosis of the position, what it entails, because I want to make sure that both those things are taken care of, employee value, taxpayer value. So
I think that if the advocacy call center is activated, the transition that we take to that is important, because if we don't do a good transition, we're going to keep getting all those calls. So we have to, in a sense, convince employees that this is actually a better value in the sense of getting better information perhaps. So I think that transition is important and to be effective. Otherwise, we're going to keep getting those calls.
yeah, and I don't want to appear to be skeptical. I just know that when the presentation that we had at the committee of the whole said that they're taking care of it for the whole west side of the state, they touted the fact that they're an international organization, and if this is something that works for everybody, great. If it's an upgrade, that's great. If, however, we lose that personal touch and we become something different than a person, then I would be concerned about it. So.
Appreciate your feedback and your questions. And I'm sure that that's something that DHS will certainly take to heart as they discuss this in their committee and also our administrator. So are there any other questions for DHS? Yes, Commissioner Tyler.
Do we have a status update on anything about hiring the new county administrator? Was that reported?
I don't think PHS is involved in that. It's Bob. They did a
What
quote.
did you just ask about the?
What is the status right now of
We just made a resolution. No, we just.
the
did
county administrator search?
Right, we just did a resolution for that today.
It's not on today's agenda.
No, in finance.
It was in finance. So it'll come to us next week. And there was a search
And it
firm
said,
hired?
it had the dollar amount, yeah, it's on my, is it on the waiver or bid?
It was just to utilize
Waiver.
the search organization through through the Association of Counties, so.
We discussed it.
Mhm.
And that's why I don't know why, I don't know if it's a bid or a waiver.
Was a waiver.
Thank you. County Administrator search.
But Sharon, I don't know that if to ask your question differently, where does it go once that a search is initiated? Is that taken care of? Did the executive committee pick that up? Who picked that up?
This was done on the fifth, the first week. Michigan Leadership Institute, County Administrator search. Department is Board of Commissioners, and the waiver amount is $10,000.
But that's just for the search. I don't know
Advertised.
the advertising for it.
It's ready now to be posted in different magazines, newspapers. da, 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 da.
It's also a firm that will take those applicants. You have to apply through the Michigan Leadership Institute. And they will help to facilitate that from what I have gleaned in researching. As to the question of where it goes, is it an executive or if it's a PHS? I don't think that that's really been landed on of who's
Yeah, and
spearheading the directive of that.
It's saying Board of Commissioners.
So it's a executive then, if it's a Board of Commissioner waiver. We'll get more answers for it and communicate that clearly to the rest of the board members, so you guys know. Yeah.
I would
How we're
appreciate that.
proceeding with it and what that looks like. I do believe that PHS was looking at the job description. Okay, well, it sounds as though there needs to be some communication and clarity on that process. So we will pick up that ball and we'll run with it and get it done and get it communicated to the rest of the board. Okay? Absolutely. It's okay. Yeah, absolutely. If there are no other questions for PHS, we'll move on to commissioner reports. Don, I'm going to start with you.
There's a brownfield redevelopment meeting at 12:30 today here in the admin building.
I attended LEPC. We had a presentation from FirstNet, which is a dedicated service through AT&T for first responders. It was a good presentation. And we also said goodbye to Rocky. Rocky Adams, this was his last meeting. Few of us said some nice words about him. I really couldn't think of anything bad to say about him, so he kind of got off pretty easy, but Rocky, he's done a remarkable job out there. We really appreciate it. I would like to reiterate a couple of things from last week, because we were not on YouTube and today we are, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. The administration committee recognized Don Trail and his people for the work that they've done with the parking lots, the sidewalks, getting everything clear for us and for the public. We really appreciate their efforts. We also expressed that same appreciation to the road department and the guys who are keeping the roads plowed and keeping them safe for the motoring public. We really appreciate those efforts. And after all that snow we got, we know they were ready for a break. So looking out the window now, good, they get their break. The last thing I have from last week was the Berrien County Historical Association. They are looking for board members. So if you know anyone who would like to sit and serve on the Berrien County Historical Association Board, you can contact John Moga, and his phone number is 269-471-1202. They need board members. That's my report.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Volrath?
Yeah, yesterday was Tuesday, LAPC, and it was Rocky's last meeting with us, and he's gonna be leaving Berrien County, and we're gonna miss him greatly. He's taken a lot of knowledge with him, but I know he's lined up in succession the people that are gonna replace him, and they've got a lot of knowledge that they've learned through Rocky and with Rocky, and So we wish Rocky the best, and sad to see him go, because I leaned on Rocky a lot if I had any questions out there, but I know things will continue the way they have, and Chuck will keep things lined up for years, so we appreciate Rocky's service to us and wish him well, and that's all I need to say.
This week, the Drain Commissioner, as well as Commissioner
Somebody-
Freeling and myself,
Or keep it-
attended Bridgman's board meeting where some residents had some questions for our Drain Commissioner, and I tell you, George does a fantastic job of making it personal in a good way. I think they realize he is looking out for them, and that he inherited this mess. And you got to give George credit for knowing he was going to get into this situation, and he did it anyways. There were some voices raised, a little bit, but, Commissioner Freeling was there. She had great answers for them. There were some questions afterwards of the direction of the road department, and I said the admin committee is on that, and just stay tuned. That was my report.
I had a Michigan Works Commissioner meeting yesterday. You may have heard jobs numbers were really good that came out of the feds yesterday. I can report from Michigan Works that they are seeing the same thing here. The manufacturing sector here is moving into a realm of expansion where they are seeing more orders. They are seeing those things translating here down right at the county levels between, and remember, Michigan Works covers here, Berrien, Cass, and Van Buren, so all three counties. Also, we got word yesterday, just before the meeting, that the Going Pro was reduced last year. That's the big apprenticeship program that we do with a lot of manufacturers here in the area. Yesterday, when Governor Whitmer released her initial budget, it is removed completely from the new budget. So we're really sad about that, hoping it makes its way back in during the process. But as of right now, that could go away. It's been around for 12 years, that program has. So that'll be a big a loss in the area of getting, younger workers trained with apprenticeship programs, and they're in more than just, an apprenticeship for an electrician or something like that. It's in nursing. It's in so many different areas. And along that lines, they did announce yesterday that they just finished with their curriculum partners, meaning SMC and LMC. This one was with SMC. They have a new respiratory therapy apprenticeship, and it's the first in the nation. So it will be used nationwide because they all use each other's. So somebody may have developed whatever apprenticeship program, but that one, there was not one anywhere in the nation. And so it was developed, SMC and the Michigan Works staff put that together. So that's a new, and it's been approved, nationally approved for distribution. So that was exciting. Sharon mentioned Brownfield today will be in Otto Grau, and we do have CEO tomorrow. It's at the county conference room, and it is on transportation, so may want to attend. That's my report.
Are you finished, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. I also attended the Michigan Works Committee meeting, and I don't know if this is what this is concerned with, and you help me. I had 336 people, I believe it was 336, this is what I think I voted about, apprenticeships from July of 2025 to yesterday, that they had 336 people involved. And what they do is they make people know of all the Michigan Works can offer them. They get a chance to go into the main building, and in there they can make resumes and get information and access to the computer, and they help them learn things on their own, and hoping they'll come because they know that it's there and the hours and all. And they're very busy, and it's exciting to know that they do have people connected. That's my report.
Thank you for all the work that you all do. My report, we had a BC meeting that myself, Commissioner Bell, Commissioner Kern attended. It was an update from MEC on construction. We're still waiting for things to be finalized as it relates to BEAD. Berrien County does have several homes that are slated to be connected through BEAD grant funding. We also had conversation with our contract with DCS Technology. This is the expert who has been doing the mapping, helping us have conversation with the ISPs. There is some conversation ongoing about how we continue those services and then what it looks like from scope of work as we start to wind down and turn some of those services over to our GIS department and others within the county to maintain the information and continue to update it so that it's relevant and real time for those homes that are going to be newly built after we've done our work. We don't want the work we're doing to be stagnant, but also how that work will be relative and how it would be utilized going forward. So that is part of the big discussion that had happened in BC Bit. We had a planning commission meeting on Tuesday. The big things that came out of that was there was text amendment considered for Lake Charter Township for updating their zoning ordinance. I have shared some of those significant changes with Commissioner Ott, because that is his district. I know he's very much aware of what's been going on there, but we did approve the recommendations with some comments to their board. Again, our planning commission at the county level is only advisory. It's not a board that necessarily takes action or has to approve for local municipalities to take action for themselves. I did attend City of Bridgman to be supportive of the drain commissioner and questions that were coming up with Tanner Creek. Many of us will know that name for that drainage district. And those assessments have rolled out to the residents on Tanner Creek. And so I also attend Orinoco Township's meeting. It had just been a few months since I had been there to touch base with them. And an interesting thing that I took away from that is that there is conversation with Medic One and Semacus boards. They've hired a consultant to look at the pros and the cons of the operations separately and jointly. And so there will be some presentations for the public with the findings of that consulting firm. And I think it's March 16th and 17th. One is going to be here in St. Joe. One will be down in Niles. One's going to be in the daytime. One's going to be at night. I don't have times and locations yet. When I get that, I'll make certain that it goes to the administrator and it is shared with the rest of the board for anybody that might be interested. Outside of that's the main crux of what I did this week. So we'll move on to our administrator's reports. Mike.
Thank you. I have a couple little things, nothing major. I just want to report out that while I was originally entering into this endeavor with the thought of, quote, staying the course, there obviously are things coming up that can't be simply stayed, but have to be dealt with. So for instance, the BC Bit contract, I have met with community development and GIS, and we're trying to put together a specific scope of service for the remainder of that project, and several other issues that have arisen. I have met with department heads and will try to resolve some of them. I did have my first department head monthly meeting this past Tuesday. It was well attended. I think there were 3, maybe 4 that weren't able to appear. So it was healthy. It was light-hearted, I think. And so that's on its way. As I have indicated, I have suspended the weekly updates. The survey that I did, both from the board and department heads, while not unanimous, were heavily towards the notion that they are of no particular interest to the person responding, acknowledging that there may be interest in other entities. But right now, with the situation the way it is for me, trying to navigate through that, I really do have to suspend it at this point.
Yeah.
It certainly could be, I might decide to re-energize that at some point, but certainly the next person can do that as well. Unfortunately, it's just, if there's a 40-hour plus week that the full-time person is they can probably, allot some of the time for that, but attempting to make this a little bit on the, part-time nature, I just had to do that. The final thing, and I really don't want to embarrass, Annette here, because it's not her fault entirely. But she was so kind as to get me my name plate, right? But maybe, maybe this is some indication of the future. I don't know. I don't know.
No.
So anyway, thank you. That's all I have.
Well, thank you for all of your work, and I know, coming into this, there was, a substantial amount of learning curve for you.
I
and
call it non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure. Ah, spoken like a true attorney.
No, it's fine. I honestly, I'm happy to, and I accept the challenge.
Yeah. And I do know that you've heard it from a number of us, but I'll say it publicly too. Like we are here to help
Mhm.
to do some of that lifting, to just assist with whatever questions and wherever we can as we navigate, finding that permanent administrator. So,
Thank you.
thank you for your update. Of general public comments is the next on the agenda. I see again, there's nobody that really is running to the podium. So we'll move on to other business. I do want to again highlight what was shared by Commissioner Warfel. There is a CEO meeting that is being hosted by Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber. They do this on a monthly basis. The topic tomorrow is transportation. It is at the Bryan County Conference Center at the Health Department. It starts at 11:30. It is reservation driven, so to RSVP to be able to be in attendance. But just FYI of that. The other thing I wanted to just put on everybody's radar, I've been asked by our chair if I would take on the task of finishing out the strategic planning and scheduling those sorts of things. The last conversation we had was that we really would like to sit down one more time to distill the information that we had done January 29th. I'm looking at the calendar. I've talked with MSU Extension to have them to be there to be facilitator. March 11th, that's a Wednesday. I know Annette is going to look to see if the conference room is open for us, but can everybody look at their calendars, get back to me Wednesday, March 11th in the morning, likely 9, carve out 9 to noon, hoping that we don't need to use all of that time. But this will help us to distill down those 7 high-level points that had a lot of points underneath it to kind of say, this is the direction we'd like to go and present. And then we'll go forward from there. Yes, sir. 9 to noon, carve that out. Okay,
We do.
okay.
The county has a 9 o'clock meeting also.
No, those are just like, those are ideas of the time. If afternoon is better, shoot those off to me via email and let me know. Okay. And then I will also put in email some other dates that are available for MSU. But I do know that Commissioner Volrath has to step out here shortly, so I want to be mindful of his time. We have a couple more items on our agenda. Announcements and reminders, just quickly, county facility is closed this coming Monday, February 16th for President's Day. And so if you come in here thinking you're going to be able to come to work or do business with the county, we will be closed. So this coming Monday, the 16th. With that, we do have two scheduled closed sessions. We're going to go into each one of them separate. We'll go in, come out, go in, come out, just for the purpose of minute taking and whatnot. So the first one we're going to consider is the very first one that's listed. That is closed session in parentheses number 2 under MCL 15.268(1)H. And that is to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state and federal statute. It's a memorandum coming from our corporate counsel. Is there a motion to go into closed session for that purpose? No motions. Nobody's listening.